Hi YouTube. So today I wanted to talk about my new favorite show. It just came out this month on Netflix. It is called The Haunting of Hill House, and I'm very picky about movies and TV shows, but this has become my all-time favorite show that I have ever watched. I watched it all through. I think there's 10 episodes. Yes, there's 10 episodes. I watched all 10 episodes within 24 hours. And I'm gonna end up watching it one more time through, and I might do a video after that too, because there might have been this, because I feel like there's some things that I missed, or I was confused, or there might have been things that like details in the show that kind of went over my head at first because I didn't know certain things. But if I go through again, there's things that I might notice. So I'm gonna go watch it again, and I might do another video after that if I find anything significant or interesting. Now, just to warn you, this video is going to be chock full of spoilers. I still recommend that you watch it. Even with all the spoilers, this is a very entertaining show, and it is absolutely incredible. I cannot stress enough how amazing this show is for so many different reasons. Before I get started real quick, I just want to say, if you want to check out my Instagram, it is Esmeralda Glows. The look that I have right now today was inspired by the nail polish that I bought by KL Polish from her new collection. It's called the Zodiac Collection. It is limited edition, so if you want to go check that out, I highly recommend you go check out her video on her channel where she talks about all the shades and where she got the names from, and does like the swatches and everything like that. I fell in love with this shade Capricorn. Oh man, it is amazing. It is beautiful metallic mid-green, like kind of like a foresty green. And it's kind of hard to see on camera, but it has a slight brown flip. It is absolutely stunning. I fell in love with it as soon as I finished the video, watching her video. Right away I went and I bought it. That was on Tuesday. Today is Friday. This showed up in my mailbox last night. Yeah, yesterday. And then I went and I got it today. So the reason I don't have it on my nails right now is because I painted my nails to go along with the costume that I'm wearing for Halloween tomorrow. We're gonna do trick-or-treating at the mall, Halloween it's called. And my daughter and I are being like aliens. We've got matching galaxy dresses. We're gonna do we have like galaxy kind of colored glitter in our hair and galaxy inspired makeup. It's gonna be really pretty. And so I did my nails with Charmed, which is also by KL Polish. It's like a periwinkle and lilac or lavender, maybe duochrome. Kind of hard to pick up the shift on these bright lights. But yes, I am so excited to put this on after trick-or-treating on Saturday. Either later in the day or Sunday, I will put this on my nails and I will post a photo on my Instagram of that. But yeah, my makeup today is inspired by it, the green and the browns. That's what I was going for today. So anyway, back to The Haunting of Hill House. Okay, so it's about a family. The husband and wife are house flippers. So they move into, like, usually during the summer or whatever, they move into a house, they get it all ready, and then they flip it. Okay, y'all know what house flipping is. They have 5 children that come along with them for all of this, and this house, it's called Hill House. It's amazing, this stunning mansion, absolutely incredible looking mansion in Massachusetts. I believe this is where it takes place. Yeah, the Boston area. And unfortunately it becomes the last house that this family is all together. It absolutely destroys this family, and it is, oh my gosh, this show is, okay, it has everything to me. It has, like all these different family dynamics and family drama. And then, just like different relationships, romantic relationships between the children and their spouses in the future and that sort of thing. And, the father and the mother too. That tale is heartbreaking. And there's also, of course, the horror aspect, the very scary, the ghosts that show up and that sort of thing. Not really. I don't think there's any gore. No, I guess you could consider some things gore. I don't like gore. I don't like anything that's like somebody else put it, I think they called it like torture porn, basically, where it's like some people just get off on seeing people being hurt, their bodies being damaged and that sort of thing. And I do not like that. I'm very picky about horror movies for that reason. I do not want to see people being raped or just tortured in any way. I don't like seeing a lot of gore. So this is scary in the way that there's a lot of paranormal activity, and sometimes like there's some jump scares. So that's perfect to me. That's exactly what I want in a scary movie or scary show. So there are quite a few jump scares, and there's also like, if you're not paying attention, you might miss it, but there will be like ghostly faces or hands that'll just like pop up. And my husband, he seemed to get them every time. He's like, whoa, what was that? And I'm like, what? I totally missed it. And he rewinded like, okay, pay attention, look right here. And then I'd be like, oh man, I didn't even notice that, you know? Or like there was this one time where they were like there was like the dad and the son were like going down the stairs, and I was watching the dad and the son going down the stairs. My husband was like, who are all those people? And I was like, what? And there's just like all these ghosts just standing there watching them. And I'm like, how did I not notice that? So it's like, there's so many little Easter eggs in there. Like if you go back and you pay attention, there's like all these scary ghosts that'll just be like, oh man, it is so freaky. So amazing. So that aspect, top notch. Like they did that so perfectly. But then also it's more than just scary. There is so much to the story, so many layers. Okay. So for example, there's 5 children, and the story goes back and forth between the past and the present. So the past would be whenever they were children in this house and when everything went down. And then the present is when they are all adults. Okay, so the eldest is named Stephen. He is a skeptic. He's the one who really does not believe in ghosts and that sort of thing. He thinks that basically all this comes down to mental illness, that the family has a problem with mental illness, which is why, you know, later on he gets a vasectomy while he's in college, because he decides he would never wants to bring a child into the world with his genes, because that's what he believes the problem is. That causes problems later with his wife, because he does not tell her that he ever had a vasectomy. And when she's heartbroken because they can't conceive a child, and they are actively trying, they are seeing a fertility specialist, they're doing everything you're supposed to do to get pregnant. And she believes maybe there's something wrong with her body, and she's desperate and she's hurting, and he's just letting her go through all this and not telling her that he had a vasectomy. So that's like a whole thing. And then also he's a famous author who exploited the family's experiences and their beliefs for money. And so the other siblings are pretty ticked off with him, and the relationship between him and his siblings and his father is extremely strained. Rightfully so. And then the second eldest is Shirley. And Shirley is a mortuary, she's a mortician, and she's very uptight, very cold. And we find out later on, that she had an affair. And that, yeah, it's not really important to the story, I would say. But we found out like at the very end that she had this, and it's just, I think it just goes to show, like, you know, sometimes people just aren't what they seem. She seems so upright and like she's perfect. And then here she did this horrible thing to her husband. And then what I thought was really interesting was, usually infidelity, cheating is used in movies and TV shows. Usually if they put that in there, it's as a way to kill off the relationship. Whereas what happened instead was, she says to her husband, she's like, I need you to love me right now more than you ever have, because I'm going to tell you something horrible. And then she tells him what happens. And their relationship actually improves after that. Now, you know, I mean, who knows? I've known of people who have continued their relationship after infidelity. It's not for everybody, obviously. And sometimes I think if you are in that situation, you don't know what you're willing to forgive or what you're able to forgive. And, you know, I don't know how that works out long term. You know, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have personal experience in that situation, but I thought that was really interesting that they became closer after that. It like mended their marriage, that she, instead of burying up the truth, and that's like a central theme in this show, is you can't hide from the past. You cannot lie your way into happiness, and you can't just bury shit. You can't do it. You have to face your demons. And that is a huge theme in this show for all of the characters. So Steven, he's by denying that these ghosts exist, by denying everything that happened, you know, it causes problems in his own life. By not admitting, also, this is like a secondary with Steven, the fact that he is hiding his vasectomy from his wife as if that's just gonna, like, it'll just like fix itself. No, you have to tell her, you know, so at least you guys can decide, are we gonna adopt? Are we gonna reverse the vasectomy? Are we gonna stop trying? Something, you know. And then with Shirley, it's with the infidelity. And some other things too, because she's also kind of comes off as a skeptic, but not so much as Steven is. She doesn't seem to be in denial so much, although she does say that she thinks that there's some mental illness in the family. But yeah, the infidelity and just like her strive for perfection, even though, you know, she's afraid of not being perfect, you know, and it really tears up the relationships in her life because of that. So then the next eldest is Theo, and Theo is short for Theodora. She's a female. She is a very interesting character. She's always been kind of shown as kind of cold and distant. And I think the reason why is because they show, even from like a very young age, she's always had like a psychic ability where when she touches somebody, she's kind of empathetic. You know, she has like an empathy link kind of with people. Like she can kind of see things or be able to tell what's happened. I'm not exactly sure what that's called, some sort of clairvoyance. But it is triggered by human touch. So she becomes very cold as an adult. Well, she's always cold. She's always been cold, but like as an adult, even more so. She becomes a child psychologist, and she's okay with touching children, like touching, you know, their hands or whatever, and she can find out how to help them. So she basically uses this gift for good with children because she feels children are helpless. With adults though, she tries not to, you know. So at one point, for example, she has like, apparently like they imply that she has solved tons of cases of child abuse, neglect, sexual assault, and that sort of thing by touching a child that comes to her, touching their hand or whatever, and she can see what happens. And then she goes and she finds the proof to back it up, and she can send the FBI or the police or whoever in to raid them and save that child. So although she comes out as very cold, she is a hero, and she uses her ability for good. But the thing is, she doesn't allow that. She doesn't allow herself happiness and justice, really. And you know, like she meets this woman named Trish, who is absolutely stunning, very forgiving, very patient, very kind, and they have sex. And you don't really see that because, like I said, I don't want to see people having sex. That's private. I don't want to see people having sex. But it's just implied. You don't like actually see it. Still a little uncomfortable, especially if like your kids are like, why are they breathing like that? You know, or that sort of thing. My daughter, she would kind of come in and out. She'd like kind of watch the show a little bit, and she came in during that scene, and she was like, why is she breathing like that? And I was like, she just got done a workout. And she's like, oh, okay. Yeah. You just kind of pass it on like that, and it goes over their head. So anyway, she just kind of kicks her out, and it was just like so, like, I thought it was just so mean. My husband and I were both just like, because she says to her, she's just like, okay, well, bye. I mean, you came here and you came here to do what we wanted to do, so time to go. I have work in the morning, goodbye. And me and him were just like, what a bitch, that is so mean, you know. And so you know, but Trish keeps coming back, keeps forgiving, you know, being like, I'm gonna be here for you, you know, like I think you're worth spending the time and figuring it out. At the very end, Theo does end up getting in a relationship with Trish, and they seem very happy, and Trish takes off her gloves. Oh yes, she wears these gloves so that she doesn't accidentally touch people, skin to skin. And she throws them away while she's moving, whatever, and she's packing up everything, she throws the gloves away. So I think that's a good symbol of her moving on and becoming, you know, more comfortable with who she is and allowing herself that risk. Again, that's another example of her facing the truth and facing her past, facing her demons. And when you do that, you know, it can make you happier. It should, anyway. So then next we have the twins. They are the youngest. Their names are Luke and Nellie. Luke and Nell. Yeah. And they are, they have that twin connection, you know, where so they sometimes feel each other's pain or they see what each other sees. They have that special connection with each other, which is very sweet. And that also becomes like a theme throughout this show. Now, Luke, I'll start with Luke. Luke grows up to become a heroin addict. And it is frustrating and it is painful to watch. And it's just like he's tried so many times to get clean. They show him really struggling with addiction. And he's always being haunted by his past, by Hill House. And also, you know, the fact that he got into opioids to begin with was to deal with, or not to deal with the past, but more like to push it aside and not deal with it. You know, so that, you know, that he was essentially killing himself with this drug. At one point, he actually dies for a few minutes and is brought back to life because he essentially decides, I'm not going to die. I want to live, you know, so it's, that redemption is amazing too, because I really thought he was going to die. But yeah, he struggles all the way through it, and it gets to the point where I'm just like, he's never going to get clean. But then at the end, he leaves with the feeling, you're left with the feeling that he has officially hit that point where he's not going back. And so that's good. That's great to see. Nell is the most tragic figure in this story. It is heartbreaking. You see this sweet little girl, and she's being haunted by what she calls the bent neck lady. And you keep seeing it throughout the whole series, from her childhood till she's an adult. Sometimes she sees it when she's having sleep paralysis. She has a problem with sleep paralysis. So sometimes she'll be haunted by this figure whenever she's half asleep. Sometimes she'll see it randomly. But it's this, what she's seeing, what she's calling a bent neck lady, is what's obviously a woman who's been hung. And so it's like, but you don't see like the face really. You just see like she's like bent like this, and it's like really dark and everything like that. And the first time I saw the apparition, I was like, oh, that's somebody who's been hung, you know? And so like the whole time you're thinking that bent neck lady is a woman who killed herself in the house or something like that. Hold on a second, I'm getting creeped out a little bit. I know, that's so stupid, but sometimes I just feel like I have to like look behind myself. We all do it, right? We all do. Tell me we do. Anyway, it turns out that Nell is seeing herself in the future. She dies. And it's ruled a suicide because, there's no evidence that somebody else did it to her. It looks like she put this noose around her neck and she jumped off of the stairwell, the really super high stairwell in the house. And just like breaks my heart. Just, Nell, everything was really going good for her. Like she was going to counseling. She was doing what she was supposed to do. She was seeing a sleep specialist. And her life was on the right track, and she just got married, and man, oh my gosh, her relationship with her husband was so beautiful. Her and her husband, Arthur, absolutely beautiful. And it just kills me. Like, it hurt so bad. First of all, when he died, that was very sad. And seeing her struggle through that, and seeing her in pain, imagining what it would feel like if it was me. It was absolutely heartbreaking. But it got even more heartbreaking for me for some reason. What actually sent me over the edge and made me cry was when she thinks she's seeing him. And I guess it's his ghost. Or that's the one thing I can't figure out. Is it his ghost? Or is it just like, she's just a little delusional at the time? I don't know. Delusional with grief. But they show her dancing with him like she did at their wedding. At their wedding, they danced to this like one song. And I keep getting it stuck in my head. And then when she goes back to the house as an adult to like face her fears or whatever, she believes she's dancing with him. Oh my God, it hurts so bad to even like think about. Like, she believes that she's dancing with him to the song. She's so happy. And they're showing her spinning around with him, and they're just so in love. And then it like cuts and it shows what's really happening, and she's just dancing in the dark by herself. And oh my God, it hurts. It hurts my heart. Oh my God, it hurts. So I would feel so much better if like she was with Arthur, but like that's like another thing is like it seems like she's not going to be with him in the afterlife, and that kills me too. That bothers me a lot because they were so in love. They were a perfect couple. It is absolutely tragic. And by the way that he dies is from an aneurysm, or supposedly, I'm not sure, but like the doctor ruled it an aneurysm, but I don't know like what necessarily caused that. I don't know if there's gonna be a season 2. I've heard both ways. I've heard, nope, this is it. It's a standalone season. But I've also heard that there's definitely a season 2 coming. And I don't know how much is going to go into that. But I really am holding out hope that they are going to have a second season or more. You can have as many as you want. I will be there. I will be a faithful fan, I'm sure. Hold on a second. I hear my baby waking up. I'm back. Okay, so got a little sidetracked there. I'm not exactly sure exactly where I left off. But I know I was talking about Nell. So, yeah, it turns out that Nell did not purposely kill herself. When she goes back to Hill House, which she's been drawn back there, I'm not exactly sure if there's other forces at work, but basically she's drawn back there, and she goes inside, and she's under either some sort of delusions or she's seeing ghosts. You know, like I said, it's really confusing. But she ends up putting on what she thinks is a necklace from her mother, and it's really a noose, and she's tricked into falling off. Now, they show her mother standing there. Her mother's, oh yeah, but I should say the mother is the first person to die in this whole family. How does she die? Oh yeah, she kills herself. She jumps off, or no, does she fall? I forget if she does it on purpose or not, but she also falls from the staircase and dies. And so I can't figure out if the mother did that on purpose so that her daughter could be with her, so that they could be together, or what. I'm a little confused about that. And I'm really confused about the mother's character in general because of the fact that she was always a loving mother. I think she was always a very good mother. But something in that house, it seems like her brain was just being messed with. And like they were saying that the house seems to have a soul, a mind of its own, and it has an agenda, which is to feed upon people for whatever reason. And it's killed other people as well. Where the source of that evil comes from, I don't know. There's one part in the movie, or in the show, where the mother, who is an architect, by the way, says that bones are houses are like human bodies. You know, the body of what's it called? The structure of the skeleton of the house, like the structure of the house is like the bones. The pipes are like the veins, you know? A lot of times people call the kitchen the heart of the home, that sort of thing. And there's this room which is very important to the story. I think they call it the red room. It's like a room that has a red door, and nobody can find a key that can open this door. And so they're all very interested in what's in this room, what's going on in this room. But they can't get in, and they don't want to just tear down the door because they're trying to flip this house. They don't want to cause any damage. So, but the crazy thing is somehow they all end up inside of this room at one time or another. They're spending time in this room and they don't know it. That's another thing that confuses me is, where is the door? Like how are they ending up inside this room? So like each of the people in this house, except for the dad, I think, each of the people in this family, they see the room differently. It's kind of like in Harry Potter, there's the room of requirement. So it's like basically whatever your needs or wants are is what this room is. So like throughout the show, you don't realize that this is what you're seeing because it's a huge house. It could be any room in the house, right? Because maybe all these kids do have their own special little place in the house. Okay, so Luke has what he calls his tree house. But there actually is not a tree house. It's the red room. That's why I'm like so confused. I'm like, are the people in the family seeing another door in the house and it just like leads them back to there? I don't know. I'm so confused about that. So when Luke is in this room, it's his tree house. No girls allowed, that sort of thing. Whenever Theo's in there, it's her little dance studio. You know, she's learning a choreography to Cold Hearted Snake by Paula Abdul. And then like for the mom, it's her reading room, like where she just goes to relax and read. For the eldest, Steven, It's where he like he plays his video games and stuff like that. And then like Nell, that's like her playroom where she has her plays with her dolls and stuff like that. So whenever you're spending time in this room, it's eating who you are, basically. And I guess the mom, like, I think that was where she was also she was like writing like blueprints. She was creating blueprints for their new house, because apparently this house that they're working on, the Hill House, this is supposed to be their last flip they do before they have enough money. They have enough money where they can create their forever home, as she calls it. So she's designing it. She's showing them, this is gonna be your bedroom. She's showing the family, you know, we're gonna have this over here and that over here, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be all of our dreams come true, and that's what we're doing this for. And that's where she's spending her time doing it. And like her husband notices she's going a little nutty, and he doesn't think that that's the reason why, but you know, he's told by the caretakers, the long-term caretakers of the home, they're like, there's something about this place. You really shouldn't spend a whole lot of time in here. We don't go here after dark at all. And you know, you guys should probably spend some time away, and especially her, because she seems to be getting more affected by it than everybody else. And unfortunately, she is the first one who falls victim to the home. And oh my gosh, it's so, and it's like, because I'm a mother, this bothers me so much, and it's scary on like a whole nother level, that she loves her children so much, but she ends up losing her mind, and she thinks that what she's doing, which is essentially killing her children, is actually saving them. Oh my gosh, that is just a terrifying, that's a whole nother level of horror, right? You know, we see these things in the news about like Andrea Yates. She killed her 5 children, believing that she was saving them. That has always scared me. What causes that? I mean, that's terrifying. I mean, like, there's nothing worse. There'd be nothing worse than losing your child. But for you to be the one that did it, that's just, like I said, just a whole nother level of horror. So yeah, there's definitely things about this that are hard to watch. But it is still the best show I have ever watched. I am absolutely obsessed. I can't wait to watch it through again. I highly recommend it. Oh my gosh, you know what? This video, I'm gonna like run out of camera time because I'm almost at like half an hour, and I still haven't even touched on everything. You know, it's just like, there's just so much more. And like I said, I'm gonna watch the video again. I'll probably do another video talking about like if there's anything else that I picked up on, or anything else that I feel like I probably should have talked about and that I forgot to in this video. But I recommend it. It's on Netflix. I don't know for how long it's on Netflix, and I don't know if there's gonna be another season, but this is the perfect show. If you like horror, and if you like suspense, if you like mystery, you will love this. Well, I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap this video up, and I'm gonna make some make dinner. Today we are having a Mummy movie night, and we're gonna watch my husband and I are gonna watch the Mummy from 2016, and we're also gonna watch, I don't know, my daughter has, I think we're gonna watch Hotel Transylvania is what she wants to watch for the Mummy movie night. I'm making Mummy hot dogs, and I'm making Mummy gingerbread men for dinner to go along with it. I know that is so unhealthy, but you know, I just do these things every once in a while just because they're fun. I think it's pretty harmless in moderation. If you want to check out my Instagram, I will have pictures of that. I'll probably have those up tomorrow. Tomorrow I will also be posting pictures of my Halloween alien look, and sometime this weekend I'm also going to do, I was going to do it today and I forgot, but I'm going to do the makeup, the Princess Achmenet makeup from the Mummy. I'm going to have that, do that on my face, and I'll post that on Instagram as well. Just as a reminder, my Instagram is Esmeralda Glows. Okay, well that's it for this video. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!